Former First Lady Michelle Obama is weighing in on her husband's crackdown. No, not his on illegal immigration, deporting 3 million people. She's upset about President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Watch.
In this current climate, for me, it's, what's happening to immigrants. So it's not the fear for myself anymore. I drive around in a 4-car motorcade with a police escort. I'm Michelle Obama. I do still worry about my daughters in the world, even though they are somewhat recognizable. So my fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't, and we know that those decisions aren't being made with courts and with due process, and knowing that there's so much bias and so much racism and so much ignorance that fuels those kind of choices, I worry for people of color all over this country. And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night.
Well, considering the fact that her husband was part of why perhaps the black vote was dampened among men after he mansplained them on supporting Kamala and loving black women, I'm confused by why she thinks she can speak for all black people. But let's move forward. Former President Obama deported more than 3 million illegal immigrants during his time in office. And Lisa, where were her fears then?
Well, she's just being dishonest, right? Which is what we all know. Same with the media as well. But I would say that, Obama did get the name deporter-in-chief during his time in office by some in the media, particularly immigration groups. But I will say he's kind of a smart political operator. Terrible president, but smart political operator. Because what did he do also? He did things like DACA for the Dreamers and DAPA, which got shut down in by a federal judge in a Texas court. So he kind of played both sides of the issue a little bit. But I think what the White House is doing so well on this immigration fight is they're so good at telling the story through images. And we saw that yesterday with the 100 illegal aliens lining the driveway of the White House with the legal alien, the picture, and then the crimes committed, like child molestation, driving home the point that we are deporting terrible people who shouldn't be here in the first place.
Well, look, Bill, if she says she's fearing anything and the lawfare is not working, and she, I think, was an attorney when she met Barack Obama before they were married, I'm wondering if she maybe thinks she can get in on that end of fighting Trump.
Well, I think during her husband's 8 years, illegal immigration was seen a little differently, too. As I recall, I think it was anyone caught within 100 miles of the border was turned away. And that's how you get to that 3 million number. And it was like turn away at the border. And the Obama team was counting those numbers. I don't think the Bush team did. And I don't think Trump did in his first term.
Maybe he should count them now?
They would just jack up even more. I'd say this. I was in Chicago when she made her big speech supporting Kamala Harris. I know she doesn't like Trump, okay? I don't know how much affection she has toward the Republican Party, and I'm not here to judge that. I would just say that her husband broke the mold. He is a historical figure. He should always be celebrated, I do believe, for what he did and what he accomplished in American history. And I'll just leave it at that. And I'd like to see her smile more. And I think that's something that you can smile about every time you're on this planet.
Do I hear you saying that once you're out of office, you should be quiet?
No, I just hear so much of a negative Nelly tone, and that's it.
Okay,
No.
Emily.
Can I?
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
But he was just such a divisive president. So I don't have a lot of great things to say about the man, President Obama. He divided this nation greatly and did so with great intent.
African-American, ran for president and won, broke the mold, and that does it for me.
And he had disdain for a lot of people like us, clinging to your guns and your God. But anyways.
Emily, right. You and I share a look.
I didn't say you.
I know. Emily, I share a look.
I love you, but I just,
I love you too.
I got to know what she has to say.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
All right, piss up. We're good. Emily.
I'm saying
sorry.
I'm not saying he was perfect.
I know. I'll behave.
I'm just recognizing what he accomplished.
I'll behave.
It's interesting that you phrased it that way, though, Bill, because I thought to myself how when you're sort of larger than life, as Michelle Obama is to many millions and millions of people, you're right that it's a little easy to slip into this keeps me up at night and sort of focusing and punching down almost in that way. I personally would probably listen to the podcast if she focused on topics that were more interesting with genuine thoughts that weren't sort of factually inaccurate and clearly fire stoking. I don't want to hear something that I hear every day from the headline of CNN and New York Times. I would love to hear a bit more insight from an attorney.
I think I know where you're going. So when they go low, she should go high?
Yeah. I got to say, I am completely beside myself with Michelle Obama's comment that Trump deportations keep her up at night. Let's go through some facts she may want to pick up. 32,000 plus is the number of people he's deported. I just did math on my calculator. That's why I was looking at my phone, guys. 73% of those had criminal convictions or pending criminal charges. 1,100 of those were gang members. Okay, when I first saw those numbers this morning, I saw them beside an FBI agent who said, we will be more safe because of Trump's policies. And my head immediately went to, before seeing the Michelle Obama story, how many Jocelyn Ngarys won't happen in this country? Laken Riley's won't happen. Rachel Warren's won't happen. Then my head went to, how many illegal immigrant children will not drown in the Rio Grande? Then my head went to, how many trafficked children will not be trafficked because of what Trump did?
Amen.
She wakes up and thinks about Trump deportation and due process. Michelle Obama, when is the last time you woke up and you thought about angel moms? When's the last time you woke up and thought about trafficked children at the border? I'd love an answer. Give it to us on your next podcast.
Yeah, that's very fair. And I hear what you're saying, Bill, in terms of history and how you'll view that. But I've never once heard that woman talk about the people that we've lost
Yes.
to violent illegal immigrants. They're not all here to do that, but there have been some that we picked up.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.